All right. Hello and welcome to another session of Overpowered. My name is David Sherdewan, and today we're going to be using Overpowered to play through the Sinister Secret of Peacock Point. This is part of the Wyvern Songs game adventure analogy by Brad Kerr. I've been listening to a lot of Between Two Kerns, Between Two Cairns, not Kerns, and I've just been really enjoying the kind of content and contributions that Brad makes to the show. And so I wanted to see if his design chops could keep up with his wit. I'm really excited to go through this today. This will be part of the ongoing development of Overpowered to see how well it combines with different adventures of different genres. So I'm really excited about this one, The Sinister Secret of Peacock Point. And to get our game started, we're going to click on the online dice app and see what bot we have today. I'm going to make this a little smaller so that we can read the adventure while we maintain the app. So starting with some low rolls, I'm not a huge fan of that. And we're going to be playing Bouncy Gyokoro. 15. The devices that Bouncy Gyokoro has are Stasis Lock, target cannot move. This is effective against Charisma, Intelligence, Speed, or similar stats. Decoys, holographic copies to confuse, attack, luck, deceit. Gyokuro can transform, alter shape, mass, and volume. Effective against difficulty class, dexterity, and attack. Interesting. And Bouncy has a translator. Nice. I don't know if we'll be able to talk to anybody in this adventure. And Bouncy is equipped with gravity treads. Cling to any surface. So we'll be moving rather slowly, but we can climb along walls, that kind of thing. We cannot jump, though. That is unfortunate. Bouncy also features a loose panel that doesn't close properly, and Bouncy avoids scanning treasures of a certain color. I feel like we'll make purple that color, going with the theme of the adventure. So if anything in the adventure is explicitly purple, Bouncy will avoid scanning that. All right. So the Sinister Secret of Peacock Point, so named because of the myriad coastal peacocks of the surrounding coastline, and also because of the den of thieves hidden beneath its lighthouse. All right. So with Overpowered, you read enough of the adventure to jump into the first section. We'll just give this intro a quick skim. I've also got the map open on here on the left in case we have to switch between the two. So, introductory dungeon for parties of 4 to 6 first level characters. Brief but open-ended dungeon crawl. Hidden beneath Peacock Point Lighthouse is the guild hall of the Apple Bottom Gang. This band of thieves recently struck a caravan of travelers and found a locked music box among the lucre. After bringing the music box back to their lair, the captains of the guild picked the lock and released the Skitter Lord. This insectoid fiend murdered its way through the guild and lurks in the halls. An abandoned thieves guild filled with terror and treasure awaits curious and enterprising adventurers. Okay, so we'll say that Bouncy has been sent on this mission to explore the guild hall and scan whatever it can find. We'll see how well that goes. Skitter Lord wishes to blacken the skies with its children and feast on the warm flesh of humanity. What a delightful villain. The creature can be sealed away by seizing the golden scarab within its swarm and locking it in the music box in area A24. Okay. So I am playing as the operator of this adventure, and I'm guiding my bot through this scenario. So as the operator, I know that that's the big weakness of the Skitter Lord. We'll see if Bouncy can manage to snag the golden scarab and lock it into the music box. All right. It will not manifest in an area where music is being performed. Okay, I don't think Bouncy has any musical abilities. Maybe his translator can make some music. He can hum or something. We'll see. All right, so let's take a look. All right, skunk goblins. They're named because of their stripe of white hair and pungent odor. The Applebottom Gang paid a weekly tribute to the goblins, and a crew visits the lair to collect their overdue payment. Okay, so we've got a few factions. We've got the Skitter Lord. We've got, if there are any surviving bandits, and we have the skunk goblins. All right, we don't need hooks. We're doing this anyway. Random encounters. Okay, I'm going to take a quick screenshot of the random encounter table. Whenever I run these overpowered adventures, I always forget to keep screenshot. All right, so we'll keep that guy tucked away somewhere. Let me shrink this a bit. All right, for the map, and we'll keep the encounter table on the left as well. All right. And this says every 10 minutes, each turn, roll a 1d10 to determine an encounter from the table below. I'll probably just do that maybe every 2 or 3 rooms. I won't keep time as closely, because this playthrough might not take too long, so I want to roll it a few times at least. The oil-burning lighthouse sits on a rocky cliff, where a gaping river meets the sea. The entrance is unlocked. Stairs lead up to the darkened beacon and down to the basement. Okay, so it looks like this is where things start off. A sea cave located in the cliffs below leads to area A13. The cave mouth is difficult to spot. A13. A13. Oh, okay, and here. Let's enter by the direct route. We'll go this way. So I guess this counts as the first area. The way that Overpowered is played, just as a brief reminder, is our bot has goals. When they achieve those goals, we gain dice in our power banks, and we want to overflow our power banks to earn Overpower. That's going to be our final score, and we can spend Overpower on some abilities if we need to. Right at the start, in the entrance, this counts as an area. It's sectioned off. It's its own place. We gain an 8-sided die whenever we enter a new area. So that's a freebie right there. We also are looking for scanning treasure, scanning creatures. Oftentimes we'll have to overcome the creatures by spending some dice in order to scan them. Same with treasure. Treasure's often guarded or protected, so we'll have to scan it where we can. And then if we complete an area, we get a 10-sided dice. All right. So there's no treasure and no creatures here. So we'll go from the entrance. We'll just head right on downstairs. Downstairs. Storage, kegs of lamp oil, graffiti, a mold-stained tapestry. There are slots carved in the stone on the wizard's eyes. Inserting coins into the wizard's eyes opens a hidden door behind the tapestry. The sack behind the door holds 42 gold. Okay. We don't have any coins. We're just a robot. So, let me see. Oh, there's coins up in the upstairs. All right, let's go upstairs. So we go upstairs. We gain another 8-sided die. And we snag 2 of the coins from this heavy coat. We'll scan the coins. That might be a handful of treasure. If there are 8 big coins, gain a d4 for that. Oh, good. Max roll in the d4. Here, I'll leave this open so that we can see it, so there's not so much switching in between. Okay. Yeah, perfect. All right. Not really worth scanning the oil or the smut, open book with smut in it. I imagine it gets lonely in the lighthouse. So we'll just continue along. We put in our 2 slots and we get 42 gold plus any coins the PC's inserted. I'll say that's another 2 handfuls of treasure. And we get a D8 for entering the downstairs. We completed the upstairs. That gives us a D10 for completing the area. And we completed the downstairs. We found all the secrets. We scanned all the treasure. That's a good completion. We've already got some overpower. Nice. All right. The guild hall. How do we get to the guild hall from here? Let's see. Which room leads to the guild hall? Hidden door behind the tapestry. Where's the entrance? Guild hall. I guess this just leads down from the door that we were in, the lighthouse. All right. So, A1. A trap. Pushing open the door from the northern staircase causes a spring-loaded axe to chop at human head height. Showing humility, kneeling or bowing bypasses the trap. Thaco 15 plus 4, 1d8 damage. All right, so even though it looks like we've got a little bot, we're on gravity treads. I think it's more interesting to engage with some of the traps and see how they interact with our robot. So we're going to say that even though this says human head height, we're going to assume that the axe is a threat to us. And what device do we want to use to overcome this threat? I say Bouncy will do a quick transform. I imagine he kind of like sucks his head in low enough so the axe isn't going to hit. In order to successfully use this device and overcome the trap, we need to pick one stat from the trap. So we've got Thaco 15. The plus 4 is only if you're using, descending armor class, which we're not. We're using good old-fashioned ascending armor class. And then 1d8 damage. Since we're dodging the blow by shrinking rather than like resisting it with some kind of shield, we'll use the 15. So in order to overcome this first trap, I need to spend more than 15 power from my dice. So we can do the 7, the 4, and the 5. That's 16 power. That's enough to overcome it. So we'll spend that, spend all those dice, and get past the trap. So we move inside the guard room. We get a D8 for entering this area. Inside is a wobbly stool, smells of mildew and stale wine. A crude drawing of a four-armed goddess is visible on the wall. Okay, no valuables in here, no treasure. So we can't really get our completing an area bonus because there's nothing in this area aside from the trap. So looks like let's move in from room 1 into room 2. The Great Hall. Messy, smelly, empty bottles and stale wine everywhere. Mismatched sofas, musical instruments, a long-necked lute, an hourglass-shaped drum, and a well-polished pair of tap shoes. A stylized mural reads Apple Bottom Gang Forever. 4 corpses lie amidst the trash. The corpses have been dead for a week, stripped of soft tissue. There's some treasure on the corpses. There's a secret door leading into A5. That's cool. And then monsters. After 1 turn, bugs start crawling out from the furniture. After 2 turns, the bugs form into a 2-hit dice insect swarm. And after 4 turns, the golden scarab flashes and the Skitter Lord emerges from the swarm. Alright, cool. We'll probably stick around long enough for the first 2, but I definitely want to leave before the Skitter Lord arrives. So, since we'll say we're staying here for 3 turns. And we'll say that our first turn, we scan the treasure on the corpses. Our second turn, we scan some of the musical instruments. And on our third turn, we'll scan the hourglass-shaped drum and some tap shoes on the stage. All right, so let's do the math. I entered the area, so I get an 8-sided die right off the bat. And then we'll start by scanning the musical instruments. We've got 1, 2. Oh, it doesn't say how many there are. We'll say there's like 3 musical instruments. That'll be 3 handfuls of treasure for me. 1, 2, 3. All right. And then after scanning those 3 instruments, the bugs start crawling out of the furniture. I'm sure that Bouncy is a little bit concerned, but he's got to finish scanning to achieve his goals. So he'll next scan the... Oh no, these are the 3. Yeah, the lute, the drum, and the tap shoes. I guess tap shoes count as an instrument. I wouldn't imagine that at first, but... So for his second turn, he'll scan the treasure on the corpses. The sword counts as a handful. The 3 daggers, I'll say those 3 count as a handful. 21 gold is another handful. And a large golden key labeled 2 to area A22. I'll say that counts as another handful. Interesting. So after 2 turns, the bugs form into a 2-hit dice insect swarm and attack. So insect swarm has 2 hit dice, AC of 12. It's got 4 HP. Let's see. Oh, Thaco doesn't have anything to do with armor class. I forgot. Yeah. You can tell how often I play some of these older games. Movement, all these stats. The way that Overpowered interacts with the stats is we don't actually care what they do. We just grab the numbers and extrapolate. So for example, 2 hit dice means 9 HP. I'm going to say, what device is he going to use? I think Bouncy is going to lock these bugs in a stasis field. And that's going to be, let's see. The movement is 10 feet. I guess that's per round or per second. So we'll overcome their speed and see if we can freeze them all in place. So I need to spend 11 or more to overcome their speed of 10. So let's go with the 6, the 3, and the 2. Yep, that's 11 power. Perfect. All right, and while those bugs are in stasis, Bounty's going to give them a quick scan, scanning a weak creature, gives him some dice. And on turn 3, let's see, where do we want to go next? I'm the operator, so I can take a peek at what the rooms have to make an informed decision. A lot of this game is about strategy, deciding what rooms are worth exploring and what rooms are not. So, water drips from the porous stone. 4 large animal cages are twisted open. So there's nothing in room 3. We don't want to bother with room 3. Training room. Slack lines of various heights, large oak desks, iron padlocks, treasure chests. They practice acrobatics and lockpicking. There's a little bit of treasure. One of the chests contains a bunch of treasure. The rest are empty. Okay. We can use the secret door, skip directly into 5. An archery range. There's a short bow with 40 arrows. And then, yeah, there's nothing really exciting in there. Or we can go down into room 6. Bunk beds, open wine bottles in the bedroom. Giant ferrets have been going nuts in here. 3 giant ferrets have been going nuts in here. That's really good. That's a great setup and a good punchline. They're scrounging for bugs, but will gladly eat people. So there's 3 big scary creatures in there, and a bunch of treasure. All right, we're going down south. All right. I did actually scan everything in the Great Hall, so I'm going to get a completion bonus for that. And I'm going to leave before the Skitter Lord can arrive. We're going to go down into room 6. I think we've gone through 3 rooms. Let's do a quick encounter, a random encounter. So I don't have enough room for a random D10 roll. I'm going to grab a D10. All right. It's nice to know that even with all this fancy technology, I still have to roll some physical dice every once in a while. So, what was the rules for encounters? Each turn has a 1 in 6 chance of a random encounter, and then roll a d10. And I'm not gonna do the 1 in 6 thing. I'm just gonna roll a d10 every few rooms and assume that that's statistically similar. So let's see. 4. A trained jackdaw squawks profanities from a nearby perch. A loyal but inappropriate pet if calmed and coaxed with food. I don't think Bouncy's going to bother with that. So it's more of just a distraction for the ferrets that we're about to engage in. So let's jump into the bedroom. I gain an 8-sided die for entering. Then we've got 3 giant ferrets. They've got AC of 14, 5 HP, D8 bite, and they have morale of 8. So because we rolled a random encounter for the jackdaw, I'll say that the jackdaw distracts one of the ferrets. We'll just go down to 2. That'll be a little bit easier for me to handle. I'll get less reward for scanning them, but I'll be able to defeat them a little easier. So, what device are we going to use? The stasis lock, charisma could be similar to morale. I could see that. The decoys could definitely also affect the morale, distract them and confuse them. And then I could transform really big and just sort of absorb their bites, get too big for them to bite with my treads. Let's do the decoys. We'll follow along the same line as the jackdaw. As the jackdaw lures one of them away, Bouncy is going to use his holographic copies to lure the other 2 away as well. So we're going to go with morale on this one, which means I need to spend 9 or more twice to overcome these. So let's see. I need to spend 10 or more. Yeah, 9 or more, sorry. So we'll do a 5, a 2, and a 2. That's 9 for the first one. And then as that first ferret leaves, Bouncy's going to snag a quick scan just to give me a little more dice. That's a terrible roll. Okay. And then 9 for the second one. I can just do 7 and 2. All right. That takes care of the second one, and get a quick scan as it leaves. Oh, yes, 6. Perfect. All right. So the 3 giant ferrets have been dealt with. They're no longer a threat in this room. Let's take a look at the treasure. 41 gold. I'll say that counts as 2 handfuls. A small iron key. Bouncy will snag that. To a Treston A7. A silver embossed saddle. That's definitely another handful. A portrait of a woman with braids. It's labeled Sweet Bonnie Windy. Okay, sure. 1 more handful. All right. A lot of good bits of treasure. Love that. And that completes room 6, so I get a nice completion bonus. Perfect. All right. From room 6, I can go next into room 10. Let's go see what's in room 10. Loot Overstock. A dusty, overstuffed museum of a room filled with crates, bones, armor, and the smell of old books. Treasure. A complete dinosaur skeleton, a pianoforte, 4 sets of silk bed sheets. Okay, a bunch of random stuff. Anyone playing the pianoforte will notice muffled set of notes in the lower octaves, the wizard's stolen memoirs, and and a treasure map to a great bard's tomb are hidden inside the frame. Okay. All the treasure in the room is valuable, but it should be dangerous to annoying to sell. So, because I'm a robot with a scanner, I can just benefit from all of this. I don't actually have to pick anything up or find someone to buy it, which makes room 10 very appealing. Let me see where else I can go, though. So we're in room 6 right now. So from room 6, I can go into room 7 or room 11. So 7 is the brig. Sad flute music repels the Skitter Lord. Smelly utility room. Rope, manacles, shallow pit. And in the cell is an NPC Filbert. Okay, that's cool. There's a little bit of treasure in here. Room 11 is the mud room. Salt-stained cloaks hang on hooks. Sandy boots are piled in careless heaps. Reflective sepia-colored ammonite fossils punctuate the natural stone floor. All right, we're just going to go to room 10 and scan a bunch of treasure. That sounds awesome. All right, so from room 6, we go over into room 10. I don't think it's locked or anything. Ooh. That's what I wanted. So enter room 10, we immediately gain an 8-sided die. And we're just going to start scanning. The complete dinosaur skeleton, I'll say that counts as a powerful object, because that's got to be valuable. The pianoforte, that counts as 3 handfuls. Silk bed sheets, each one of those 4 counts as a handful. 2,000 pounds of rock salt. A rune-carved lead coffin. I'll say that counts as a powerful object. And a suit of mail. That'll be another 2 handfuls. Maybe 3. Okay. And I don't think Bouncy has a way to play the piano, unfortunately. He's pretty limited. He's got no projection or anything like that. No hands or anything. So, what is our overpower? Wow, 80 overpower already. That's great. So we're in room 10. Where can we go from room 10? So from room 10, we know nothing's in 5. That's the archery range. And we haven't really decided to go over this way yet and explore some of these. So from room 10, we can go into 11 and then explore some of the jail cells. Bouncy does have a translator, so maybe he could get some information that way. But I'm inclined to not go that way. Let's keep heading towards the loot. We want to keep our overpower score as high as possible. So we can go into 18. Let's see, what's an 18? Shrine. Crashing pots, pans, and snickering voices are audible from 19. An L-shaped room seems to collect rugs. In the elbow sits a statue of a gold-adorned obsidian, which depicts a 4-armed, wide-eyed goddess. Religious-minded adventurers will recognize her as Lilia, the lesser goddess of children and thieves. And then a bunch of offerings. The goddess and her treasure. Leaving an offering grants the boon. Reroll any checks to open locks. Do thief things. Taking a treasure invokes Lilia's wrath. Taking a treasure without her noticing will incur her curiosity. That's amazing. Oh, I love that. I don't know if Bouncy will be able to interact much with taking treasure. He can only scan treasure, so we'll just stick with that. And yeah, let's go directly from room 10 into room 18, and then we'll sort of make our way down into this bottom right corner because that looks like the meat of the adventure. All right. So, I did not scan everything in room 10. Remember, we couldn't play the piano and scan that last bit of the wizard's memoirs, so we'll have to just keep it going. I don't get the completion bonus for that room. I do want to get a little more treasure so that I can bump this 18 into Overpower. When I gain a new die, the die goes into the bottom and it moves everything up. And anything that doesn't fit gets bumped into Overpower. So I definitely want to do that if I can. So we move into 18. I get a D10 for entering the room, which I think I already clicked on. Damn my memory. All right, we're just going to keep going. And then Bouncy will scan the offerings there. So 111 gold, that's 2 handfuls. A jeweled kukri is another handful. Sticks of pungent incense and a stuffed rabbit. Both of those count as 1 handful, I guess. All right. So from 18, looks like we can go into 19, 17, or 21. 17 is another bedroom. Hammocks and silk crisscross the ceilings. 3 oak chests line the wall. A bunch of valuables in those chests. And if anyone lies on the bed, more insects show up. 19. Where's that? 19 is the kitchen. 6 skunk goblins making a racket. They think all humans look the same. They will demand their money from anyone they meet. They probably won't bother a robot, but they also might cause trouble, so I'll avoid the kitchen. That's not worth going in there and upsetting them. Or I can go to, what was it? 21. 21 is a mirror maze. Interesting. 2 hidden trap doors drop into pits and leads further into the rest of it. All right, let's just go, let's do a little loop. We'll do 17 and then down into 20. Unless 15 has a lot of good stuff. We'll cross that bridge. So let's enter room 17. So I gain a D8 for entering the room. 3 oak chests. Treasure. Bunch of treasure. And 2 suits of black leather armor and a set of adamantine lockpicks. That seems valuable. And then if anyone lies on the bed, enough bed bugs emerge to form a 2 hit dice insect swarm. Let's do another encounter, just to see if anything else bumps into this room. That's a 6. 2d3 belching skunk goblins loudly search for their payment. So let me roll d3. Okay, so that's 4. The first one was a 2 and the second one was a 2. So 4 skunk goblins. Where are the stats for the skunk goblins? Let's take a look. Oh, there we go. Use normal goblin stats. AC 13. That goes 0. Morale 7. I think once again, Bouncy's going to be relying a lot on decoys and translators to sort of scare them away or move them away. And that's going to rely on morale. So we'll use morale as the stat to overcome. Morale is 7, so I need to spend 8 or more to overcome the morale of 4 skunk goblins. Okay. So 8 or more times 4. All right, that's a lot. So let's see. We'll want to try and do exact math as much as we can. So there's 8. First one down. Another 8. Second one down. This is when things get a little bit not so exact. No, let's do this. Let's do 5 and 3 for the third one, and then 6 and 3 for the fourth one. Whew, almost ran out. Now, if I was going to run out, let's pretend like there's one more that we need to overcome. I can spend 40 overpower to gain a bunch more dice. That's going to dip into my score a little bit, but then I'll have more dice to deal with them. However, in this case, I think we got by. We're good. So we lured all the skunk goblins back out of the room. They came into the room looking for their rent, their payment, and Bouncy, using his translator and his decoys, lured them out of the room. As he lures them out of the room, he takes a quick scan of each one, so we get 4 6-sided dice for scanning weak creatures. And now he's free to scan all this treasure. Perfect. Now these, I assume they're locked. That seems to be the theme of the adventure. So we've got to open up the chests. If a chest doesn't have, or if an item doesn't have stats listed, like it doesn't say difficulty 5 to open the chests, we use 10 as the default stat for anything. 10 is just the basic number. So there are 3 chests, they've got 10 each, so we need to spend 11 or more to open all 3. I think it'll be worth it. There's a ton of treasure in here, but we're going to have to dip into our Overpower to get it. But I think it'll still be a good exchange. So let's see. That's the first one. Opened. Second one. Opened. And I'm going to have to spend some Overpower to get more dice. So let's spend 40 Overpower. Yep, you can see it go down there. It gives me a lot of stuff. Oh, perfect. A nice even 11 to open up the chest. The third chest is open. All right. So that was a big cost to our Overpower. Let's see if we can make it back. So fine felted clothing, that'll be 2 handfuls. Plumed hats, I'll say another 2 handfuls. A sword cane, that counts as 2 handfuls as well. Nice. Ostentatious jewelry worth 650 gold. Wow. Instead of giving myself a bunch of handfuls, I'm just going to say it's worth 2 powerful objects. All right, that's a shit roll. All right. 2 suits of black leather armor. Each of those is 2 handfuls, so I give myself the 4. And a set of adamantine lockpicks. Another handful. So awesome. I think that was worth it. We ended up with more Overpower than we started, even though we had to dip into a little bit. All right, let's continue. So from room 17, we said we were going to go down into room 20. Let's take a look at room 20. All right, climbing wall. Handholds are cemented across the eastern wall. 2-foot shelf hangs a few feet below the ceiling. A lot of powdered chalk sits overturned. There's a 3 hit dice insect swarm, dominates the floor and gnashes their teeth towards the shelf. An NPC named Pillsbury, an unhinged halfling maniac, has been trapped on the shelf for several days. They came back alone and found everyone dead in the hall. Oh, this poor guy. Knows about the music box and wants it for themselves, but hasn't connected it to the bug invasion. Pillsbury vacillates between subordinate and backstabbing psycho. Carries a pot of enchanted animate dead oil as the spell and a rusty machete. Okay. Let's see. I don't know if Bouncy would bother to engage. There's really no treasure in here. And Pillsbury doesn't have any information that Bouncy needs. I think Bouncy's going to be kind of an ass and just leave him alone. Yeah, we're just going to pass right through 20. Oh, but I'm on treads. Bouncy has gravity treads. Yeah, Bouncy's going to go like along the side of the wall and then up along the top of the ceiling to, oh, that won't avoid the insect. Yeah, to avoid the fanged worms that dominate the floor and gnash their teeth. So the only stat it gives us, oh, it's an insect swarm. So let's go look at those stats again. Insect swarm, 3 HD, which is 13 HP. So we're avoiding this with the gravity treads. It's almost like we're just sort of avoiding their attack. Where's their attack? Let's see. I think that's Thaco, right? That's the one to hit. So, yeah, if we just spend 8, so we spend 19 or more, we just avoid the whole thing and fly right over them. So, 6, 4, 20. Perfect. All right. Oh, before I do that, I gain a d8 for entering the area. Almost forgot. Doesn't really help me a ton, but there we go. All right, 20 power. We'll just slide right over. Could I switch that out for a 3? Yeah, if that goes 18, I'm only spending 19. There we go, save some dice. All right. And then we can scan those creatures as we pass overhead, which is cool. We'll also take a quick scan of Pillsbury. Why not? And that, I think, is everything in this room. Let me go back to room 20. He's got some loot on him that I don't want to try and get too close to him to do. In fact, I'm going to remove that die that I got for scanning Pillsbury. The logic is that most creatures don't like being scanned. Your scanner is very short range, so you basically have to touch something to scan it. And the way Pillsbury has been described is as a unhinged, backstabbing psycho. I don't think he's worth getting too close to scan. And he's also not worth scanning for his animate dead oil or his rusty machete. So we're going to leave him alone entirely. That means we won't get the completion bonus, but this way we just overcome the creatures along the floor and keep moving. So that leads to the mirror maze in 21. The hidden trap doors are definitely going to be trouble if we go that way. But because I'm the operator, I can just lead Bouncy past the trapdoors. What's in 22? 22 is the vault. That sounds really good. 2 golden keyholes and cylindrical depressions. 2 keys turn simultaneously. Okay, well. You have no way of turning keys, Bouncy. So you can't get into this at all. That's a shame. All right. Then we're just going to keep going on into the captain's quarters in room 23. A lavish triangle-shaped chamber dressed in silks, tassels, and plush. Short table. I'll get this bigger for you. Sorry. Short table holds an open music box. 3 insect-dripping corpses sit around the table. One corpse still grasps the lockpicks, which open the music box. So I guess the thieves grabbed the lockpick, the music box, and when they opened it, the Skitter Lord attacked. Man, it's tough being a thief. Thousands of beetles and centipedes. Love it. Love it. There's a golden key around its neck. Opens the vault. 6 fragile porcelain vases are salvageable from the swarm. Room-sized 4-hit dice insect swarm covers everything. Music box is glowing black glass. It has a sad plinking melody when shut. Imprisons the golden scarab. Worth 2,000 gold to someone who doesn't know any better. To the hand which holds this box, I say to its possessor, the Skitter Lord be in this jail and the music its oppressor. Cool. Alright, so I feel like we should have the Skitter Lord appear in this room and have this be kind of a final boss fight. I like that idea. Let's see what's in 24 and 25, just in case we want to end our adventure here. 24, treasure, has some leather armor, a magic boomerang. Twisting the torch sconce opens the secret door to the western wall of a flooded cave. There's nothing really that useful in here. Guildmaster's hobby room. Small room smells of grease and iron. A bicycle and a set of wrenches sits on the oil-stained floor. If you don't want a bicycle in your medieval campaign, replace it with a bird cage. That's funny. You should really have a bicycle in your game, though. Aw, Brad, I agree. That is so true. Okay. So let's call this room the final one. Let's do like a big final showdown with the Skitter Lord, and then we'll scan the treasure in here, and we'll call it an adventure. Okay, so we've got the Skitter Lord, and then a 4-hit dice insect swarm covers everything. Let's see. Insect swarm stats. What is it again? 4-hit dice means it has 18 HP, 18 Thaco. I feel like if we're going to use our stasis lock, we'll need to do the speed again, which is 10. So we'll lock this down. All right, so we've got to spend 10. We've got to spend 11 or more. We have to spend more to exceed it. So we'll do the 3 4s. There we go. All right, so that overcomes the insect swarm, and then we have to overcome the Skitter Lord when he appears. So let's see. The Skitter Lord, 13 armor, or armor class, 22 HP, attack, Thaco 15, moves quick, jeez, 30. A bunch of saves, breath, morale's 10, breath weapon deals a ton of damage, can summon insects. Oh, cool. All right. Which stat do we want to overcome? Let's look at my devices again. We could try to stasis lock him. He's got a speed of 30, which seems like a lot, but we can still try that. Use holographic decoys is not going to help because we need to trap the golden scarab. So actually stasis lock makes the most sense because then we can freeze the golden scarab in place and put the music box around it by transforming our shape and sort of slowly lifting the music box to meet the frozen in time scarab. I think that's what we're going to have to do. I could use the translator to get music and scare it away, but I need to kill it. So yeah, let's use the stasis lock. All right. So obviously I don't have enough dice. Oh, I gain a d8 for entering that final room. That's not going to help us a ton though. So I'm going to spend another 40 overpower to gain some more dice. Boom. All right, that should be plenty. So we're going to freeze him in time. We need to spend over 30. So geez, do we even have enough? Yeah, we do. Okay. 31. Perfect. All right, so we spend 31 power. Freeze him in place. We quickly scan a strong creature. And then we put his golden scarab inside the music box. Awesome. And then what else was in that room? All right. The corpses. One has a golden key. That counts as a handful of treasure. 6 fragile porcelain vases. I'll say each of those count as a handful. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. The music box counts as a powerful object for sure. Actually, it should count as 2 because of the golden scarab inside. All right, sweet. And I think that completes Bouncy's journey. Bouncy successfully infiltrated the Thieves Guild, scanned everything worth scanning. We didn't explore these top 3 rooms. Let's take a quick look at those just to see if we missed out on a ton of treasure. So let's see. 14 spring-loaded axes, so some more traps. A bunch of colorful fungus. There's some cool toads. No treasure. The pit is just another dangerous thing. No treasure. And room 16. Doesn't have much treasure either. Okay, we made the right call. I think we made the optimal choice here. Yeah, that concludes our adventure of the Sinister Secret of Peacock Point. A rarity for Overpowered, we actually sort of solved the adventure and made things a little bit more calm and peaceful than they were when we entered. Normally, our robots can kind of cause some havoc, but there we go. Thank you for joining me. Final Overpower score is 94, which is a solid score. I'm very proud of that. And 94 is the final Overpower score for Sinister Secret of Peacock Point.